Hey guys, Energy here. I don't have a script for this video, or not even a script, but any sort of thought outline, so this is going to be a little bit rant prone, just as a quick preface. But anyway, I have this theory that the ultra modern MLB market is about to crash. And when I say crash, I mean anywhere between a 40 and 60% drop off. We're going to be using a little bit of Star Stock today because their graphs go back farther than the 3-month free graphs on Card Ladder. However, we'll probably hop over there um, later in the vid. And I want to preface this again by saying that um, I put my money where my mouth is on this one. I sold my Acuna. I bought a 2018 update US 250 Ronald Acuna Jr. PSA 9 for $42.50 shipped like 5 months ago, and then I just sold it the other day for 75 bucks. Um, Ended up profiting about 59% in 5 months. And I do believe in Acuna, and I think Acuna is actually probably undervalued, especially in comparison to Soto and Tatis. But I just felt more. I felt like I could do more with that capital if I were to sell, take the profit, and move on something else. In a second preface, I would like to say that uh, I part of this is coming from me getting burned from buying right before the NBA season started. So I bought Trey Young, Sekou Demboya, and Kobe White. The Trey Young has dropped by like 60 to 70% of its value. Certain the card I bought. The Kobe White's lost like over half its value. The Segus have pretty much remained flat or gone down. So I was burned by this and in the basketball market in this in start of this season. And based on some of these graphs, a lot of people are burned in the football market as well. So this is a common trend that's happened these last couple of uh, like start of seasons for these main sports, and I expect it'll continue to happen. So let's look at this is so I'm it's kind of evidence as to the fact that this is happening in that this happened the previous football season. This is Lamar Jackson's 2018 Prism rookie Star Stock A. Let's go back here. Whatever reason the ungraded version sells more frequently than the Star Stock grades or the PSA grades, so it's a graph I decided to go with here. This card was back at like $100 until middle of July, which it spiked, peaking at like 500, 575. Then it came crashing down. So the idea is you've got all these people. So what happens a lot of times is when a season starts, when a new season starts, the other seasons are kind of like underway or a little bit slumping. So like take the start of football season, right? Well, that's actually a terrible example, but this was part of just the market hype of August in general. But take the start of basketball season, right? That's like what, just late December. And sure, football's playing, but it's not this the early season hype. It's kind of mid-season at that point. Baseball hasn't really started at all. It's died down. It's baseball off season. Uh, and so you've got all this hype around the start of the NBA season. Same thing kind of happened. This graph here get kind of caught up in the August run up. But another comment. I'm going on a little bit of a tangent here, but uh, most of these football prices have not recovered their value. So sure, Mahomes has and whatnot, and he's probably done better, and Brady and whatnot. But a lot of these guys just have seen massive decrease. So let's pop over to another football guy, DeAndre Hopkins, Star Stock A, Topps Chrome rookie, peaked up over $50 in September, came crashing down. You guys say you don't believe me in football, well, or you don't find football relevant because you could argue that football would be an undiscovered market, as in like uh, well, this is part of Star Stock. Okay, there are a lot of counters to this argument, but I think the same concepts hold true. Let's go over to baseball real quick. Topps Chrome Tatis rookie, Star Stock A. This card was like a $35 card for pretty much August through the first of the year, and now it's spiked up to 185. I don't see these prices holding whatsoever. 'Cause think about it. Everyone who's bought from like here to here has bought with the intentions of selling at a later, like they're all short-term flippers. That's the thing I want to come back to here. You've got all these people from basketball and from football who have this small window of a single season time frame, and as we've seen with single season time frames, the bubble tend. I'm gonna come back to that. Actually, so this is 2018 Optic LeBron peaked up at this was. Let me back up here. There was a ton of hype surrounding Lakers Laker rookie LeBron during the August card hype and the run up to the NBA playoffs. And as a result, this is 2018 Optic LeBron PSA 9. This card peaked at over $200. It is now a $35 card. So, and everyone who was buying between like $50 and 200 as this run up happened to August, they were all buying with the intention of selling once the Lakers won the championship. And I don't have the date, but I'm pretty sure the Lakers won the championship kind of after this August 15th point. My point is that like if you draw a line, I was this September 18th, September 26th was the date of the championship. Let me go back here. So that would be somewhere like right here-ish, right? So at this point, it's crashed for like a month. My point is that whenever you have these short-term hype bubbles, the way that the snowball works, the bubble always bursts before the big event pays off. In this case, it was a month early. I'm kind of surprised baseball hasn't really seen a full crash yet, but I expect it will see one uh, in the coming future. Let's hop over to card letter here. Let's just go to Tease. You see this card peaked up at over 550. It's now cooled off to 415. Let's show Soto real quickly. This card was almost at $600. Now down to under 500. Acuna Chrome PSA 10. This card, this seems so cheap compared to the rest of them. This one has actually held its value pretty consistently. Let's look at Bowman Chrome Acuna PSA 10. Let's look at this card. This card actually held its value somewhat. It has a small decrease, but nothing too substantial. My point is that I'm thinking if you look at these Soto and Acuna, unless they look, let's take Soto. That's fine. Unless I mean I believe Juan Soto is one of the best players in baseball, and so he very well could have an explosive season. But if for whatever reason he suffers an injury, or just comes out of the gate in a slump, I could very well foresee this card having its peak at 590, at least a peak for the near future. Where was going with this? Oh, start talking examples because we can look at price. We can look at more expansive prices. Same thing happened in basketball, guys. I got burned by this too. This is December 27th. This is the last sale before he gets hurt. It was Star Stock A Prism Job Base. Peaks at 350, then comes crashing down. Granted, this is partially injury driven. So you can see, like even just an injury for like a couple of months crashes this by like 60%, which is insane. Same thing happened with Zion. Peaks it up over basically $500. Is now down to the 250 range. It's like this has happened before. We saw it happen in football. We saw it happen in basketball. Guess what, guys? It's gonna happen in baseball too. Trae Young, same thing happened. This was actually a pretty. Let's go to card ladder in a second here. Show Trae Young's drops too. Basically lost half its value. If you look at Prism Tray on card letter real quick, Prism Tray PSA 10, yada yada yada. This is a $400 card that was once an $800 card. I actually think Tray's a buy. I might make a video on that exclusively. But like this, my point is, okay, fundamentally, investors. Let me pull up a graph. It'll make more sense. Actually, no, never mind. At this point, we have investors buying from investors. Hence, as shown by the LeBron example in early August, the bubble's going to burst before it's supposed to. The bubble's going to burst before the big date. And I'm partially surprised that baseball hasn't crashed already, though if you look at this stuff, this doesn't crash until like a month after. So if you're holding baseball for a short 1 year time frame, I would almost say sell. I personally have sold. Especially when you consider that football, guess what? The same thing is going to happen in football. I don't have the advantage of having I don't have card letter premium or market movers of any kind, so I don't have the advantage of having the full multiple year graphs here. But the same thing's going to happen in football when this football season comes around. Imagine this is a football graph, right? Peaks up here, it's going to drop off. We're seeing this drop right here. This start of the football season is only like 6 months away, right? So if we can buy down here and just hold till this point, make a whole video on this, but the time to buy football is right now. And so if you could sell them, if you've made crazy profits on baseball, you could sell the baseball, move into football, just continuously churn out that profit. It's a pretty interesting idea to me. Another idea would be to sell if you've made a crazy profit on baseball, or even if you're just like a slight increase. This is what I might end up doing. That Acuna example I had. Bought an Acuna, basically made 60% on 2018 update Acuna PSA 9. Um, I can sell now, predict that there's a chance that either Acuna suffers a minor injury, comes out in a slump, or the overall market crashes, hence leading to a drop in his cards. I can then like sell at a peak and just kind of buy in the valley and do the same thing over again. Because I believe in Ronald Acuna Jr. long term. Um, by selling now, you're essentially locking in some profits for the long term. It frees up capital to move the money somewhere else. Um, Yeah, and that's just like I was using fundamental examples of the big guys, your Zions, Jaws, um, Treys in terms of the bigger modern names. If you look at a guy like Kobe White, which I someone I absolutely love as a Bulls fan, I love Kobe White. But if you look at Kobe White's graph, oh, this is painful. People bought this card at $100. It is now a $20 card. You know what I mean? So like this is partially just the craziness of Prism basketball and Star Stock and just everything that culminated in this December time frame. But yeah, this took a hard nosedive. It will be interesting to me to see what ends up going up in the long term. Um, or not even long term, the short term. Like at the end of the day, there are certain guys that are going to break out this baseball season. Um, and it's gonna be hindsight 2020, right? You can see perfectly into the past, not into the future. Uh, yeah, so that's pretty much all I have. Oh, one more thing. I want to counter this whole argument I just made. Um, uh, there is one way to there is the market idea that this uh ultra modern baseball will not crash because if you count this period right here as an undiscovered market, then this looks like just a plateau. Because if we say that like this was um, like the Tiger Woods like a low point, right, and then he spikes, and he still is at a high profit. How am I describing this? It's like if you just consider that the market hadn't really considered that angle, and then just now acknowledged it, the cards are still going to plateau up here. But I'd argue that anytime you have a boom, whether it's the Tiger Woods boom or the vintage boom or whatever, or the ultramodern basketball boom, as we see right here and right here and right here. Uh, they all come uh, they all come back to earth a little bit. Um, Something to consider that maybe baseball cards aren't going to the moon, or at least not in the short term. So yeah, I appreciate you guys tuning in for this one, and I hope to catch you in the next one.